Have you ever just looked at how Parliament works and thought, wait, that doesn't make any sense? Well, today we're digging into the bizarre rhythm of the parliamentary day. It's a system that feels less like it was designed for the modern world and more like something we just kind of fell into. And that's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? When you look at the schedule, the timing, the whole feel of the day, it just wasn't planned for a modern, high-pressure job. It really feels like a bunch of old habits that we just never got around to changing. So, let's start with a really simple question. When does the workday for a parliamentarian actually kick off? You'd think there'd be a straightforward answer, right? But nope. A lot of the time, things don't really get going until late morning, or sometimes even the afternoon. And hey, if the start time is a bit of a mystery, the end time is even weirder. You've got votes happening super late at night, debates that just drag on and on. There's this built-in chaos that we've all just accepted as normal. But should we? All right, let's get into it. The late start, later finish. We're going to break down just how out of step this whole schedule really is. I mean, just look at this comparison. It's pretty wild. Any other high-stakes job starts early, you make the big calls when you're fresh. Parliament, it completely flips that script. The day starts late, and the most important decisions get shoved at the end of the day when everybody is just fried. And this, right here, is the real cost. It's not just about some inconvenient hours. It's about the quality of our government. You know, when the biggest debates are happening at 10 o'clock at night, you're making massive decisions in a room that's tired and, frankly, half empty. Okay, so how on earth did we get to this point? Well, it wasn't some evil plan. The answer, like it often is buried in history. The rhythm we see today has its roots in a totally different time. So here's how it happened. Way back in the 1800s, Parliament basically ran like a gentleman's club. You know, a place for elite men with their own money, where time was flexible and things like family were somebody else's problem. Then, as the job became more professional, they just tacked on more responsibilities. But here's the key. They never went back and rebuilt the original timetable. They just kept adding things on top. There's actually a great term for this. Accretion of expectations. It's perfect, right? Instead of designing a system that actually works, we've just piled new duties on top of old habits. And, well, now that old foundation is really starting to crack. Now, it's really easy to hear all this and just think it's about people complaining about long hours. But the cost of this whole system is way, way higher than that. This is about the health of our democracy. You know, there's this weird culture where being totally exhausted is seen as a good thing, like it's a badge of honor. We see politicians working these crazy hours, and it's framed as dedication, as sacrifice. It's a really compelling story, but it's hiding a pretty big problem. Because here's the thing, and it's just pure science. Being tired doesn't make you a better leader. It does the exact opposite. It narrows your thinking, makes it harder to deal with complex stuff, and you're just way more likely to make mistakes. And that has real consequences. First, this is about the quality of the decisions being made, not just whether someone's comfortable. Second, the people who can just physically stick it out late at night end up with more power, and that quietly pushes out anyone with, say, a family. What you end up with is a system that's built for a very specific type of person, someone who's willing to accept burnout as just part of the job description. Think about it like this. In fields like aviation or medicine, super high-stakes jobs, fatigue is treated as a massive risk, something you have to manage carefully. But in politics, where the decisions can affect millions of people, it's treated like a badge of honor. You just have to tough out. That just doesn't add up. So all of this really leads to one big final question. What if we could just wipe the slate clean and start from scratch? Because once you see the whole system as just a pile of old habits instead of a smart design, your perspective totally flips. Suddenly, those heroic late nights don't look like commitment anymore. They look like a messy workaround for a system that's fundamentally broken. So I guess I'll just leave you with this thought. If we were building Parliament today, right now, knowing everything we know about how people work best, about making good decisions, would we really pick this schedule? Or would we build something that's designed for clear thinking, not just for survival? And maybe the most important question of all is this. Who is this system pushing away before they even get in the door? With all its chaos and unpredictability, who are we losing before the debate can even begin? That's something we should probably think about.